The NHS.
Save lives.
And
RTI.
Keep talking.
Keep talking.
Keep talking.
keep talking.
Keep talking. Continue de parler.
बात करते रहिए.
Keep talking.
Keep talking.
Keep talking.
Keep talking.
Don't keep it to yourself.
And if others want to talk to you, listen.
We can all get through this.
If we stay at home.
Protect the NHS.
Save lives. And
Keep ruddy well talking.
RTI.
We'll do as instructed and carry on talking. It's the Radio Relief Monday and I'm not in a very good mood, but hello, Dave.
Hello. It's step in a ped. Oh, can't speak. Step in a puddle and splash your friends day.
Step in a puddle and... Oh, Gordon Bennett. Who thinks these things up?
I don't know. That's why... It's also Learn Your Name in Morse Code Day.
Ah, no, that's a good one. Can I do it?
I know what yours is, so carry on.
I've done it. I was just doing it. Go on, then.
It's... how am I going to do this?
Dit. No, you have to say it. You do a dit
right, okay.
for a dot
Dit.
and a dar for a dash.
Okay, so it's dit, dar, dit, dar, dit.
Mm.
And I'm dar, dit, dar, dit, dar, dit.
That's where you get the V from, you see. Did-did-did-ah from Mr. Winston
And most
Churchill.
importantly, there's the other one, which is dit, dar, did.
RTI.
Very good.
I remembered. Gosh.
You pass. Congratulations.
I never did, actually. Well, no, that's not true. I didn't pass the Morse code in England, but I did in Ireland. Never took it up, to be quite honest, but there you go.
It's also Milk Day and Hot Toddy Day.
Nice.
Clean off your desk day.
No, never find anything.
Heritage Treasures Day and World Sketch Note Day.
What's a sketch note? A tune?
That's a very good question.
To which we have no answer whatsoever.
I have no answer to you whatsoever at this precise moment. But hold fire and I'll find out. Hold on. If I can... Where has he gone?
I don't know.
That's World Sketch Note Day. Here we go.
Right.
Wait for technology to catch up. If you've ever got into trouble with your school teacher for doodling in class, then be assured to know that there's a holiday that rather takes pride in the fact of visual learning. World Sketchnote Day celebrates the uniqueness in sketchnoting and provides insight into what visual learners can accomplish with their notes. So this is the little diagrams you scribble while you're making notes on your bits of paper.
Well, Ian's waiting for the super rant Eric to arrive and says hello to Dave. Steve says morning.
Morning.
Axel says, what's up, RTI? Axel's in the house. Axel, you should have, because I did remember, the...
Wash your hands?
Yes, that's it, thank you. The wash your hands jingles on your messenger. It's just been announced that almost 1% of the population of Liverpool have tested positive for Civic. Do you mean COVID?
They've all been down the Honda dealership and stolen the car.
Hardy, Tanjung, like RTI Indonesia here. Hello, mate. That's very good of you. Hello, Indonesia. Nice to have you with us. Mitchell says good afternoon. When is it Dave doesn't know what the day is today? Day.
You have to be pretty up fairly early to catch me out on that front.
This is true. Paul Turk's in the house. Hello, Paul. As is Dunny and Mr. Barm, the DJ Live. And Tala is there as well. And many others. Is there a keep your computer off day?
Who knows?
Can't have one of those. I have to have my arms chopped. I have to have my arms chopped off.
The world would grind to a halt.
Well, because, technically, a
There
mobile
are so
phone.
many things that run with a computer attached to.
Well, yeah, but your mobile phone's a computer, isn't it?
Exactly.
So you'd have to turn everything off. You couldn't cook.
No.
That's got a chip in it. You couldn't do any washing.
No.
Microwaves are goner straight away.
Yeah. Couldn't go out in the car.
No.
Not that you can go out anyway.
Well, I couldn't go out in my car because it wouldn't let me because the computer would say no car.
no. Wouldn't be able to make any phone calls, wouldn't be able to do anything like this. Radio stations wouldn't work, TV stations wouldn't work, your TV wouldn't work, your radio probably wouldn't work. Yeah, might as well stay in bed.
Yeah, exactly. Axel's got the recording. That's cool. That's cool.
Excellent.
And I have a question for everybody before I do my rant.
Oh,
Well, you can play along with this one as well, Dave, because I'm
okay.
confused.
Well, this won't make a surprise, really.
Okay. We keep getting this thing about you can only go out for essential shopping.
Yes.
But what constitutes an essential product when shopping?
Good question.
I don't think anybody's ever asked that question.
Well, I know what I would say are essentials. Essentials is food, not necessarily alcohol, but drink.
Yes.
So like water and sort of things you drink. So food, drink, medicines, that would be fairly essential. Pet foods, got to keep the pets alive. So what else could be
Well,
essential?
you have to have fuel to put in your vehicle.
Yes. So fuel places. Possibly some clothes. It doesn't necessarily mean you can go out and buy a suit, but baby clothes definitely. And maybe basic clothes. I mean, there's no point in going out and buying a ball gown, but maybe a pair of jogging bottoms and some underwear and a t-shirt. What else could be essential?
Shoes.
Shoes, yeah. Well, they come under clothes, don't they?
Oh, I
So,
see. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So,
anyway, I'm throwing that open now to anybody.
Right.
What is essential products? Mitchell said I asked that question last week. Did you? Sorry, mate. Ian says I've been wondering that myself, and I'd just like to know what you think is essential shopping, because I've got one in the list that I can't believe is essential, but I'm not saying just now. Not at all.
Right.
So here comes.
Where did this list come from? Is this an official list or one that just happened to be nailed
Well,
onto
no,
a
it was
tree?
when I was walking round the shop, and
Right.
I walked around the shop. Then I checked it out in videos I watched on online from the UK and news reports of people going around shops, and I thought that's not essential. That really isn't essential.
Okay.
And in the shops here, we have, like that red and white plastic strips things that they have at festivals and stuff where you can't go. Where only people like me and you go,
Tape.
the VIP
Yes.
places, you know?
Yes,
Never else is better. Well,
Like police tape, but not
not blue.
severe.
Yes. The areas in our shops are all taped up. So, for example, you can't go to the clothes place. You can't go to the car accessories bit. And that makes a lot of sense. I get that. Steve's very close to my answer. That's a bit worrying. But anyway, we'll do that in a minute. So any more ideas?
Oh, hold on. Car accessories. Well, it depends how important. Light bulbs are quite important.
They're not taped off.
So light bulbs, windscreen wipers,
Yeah, that sort of stuff.
antifreeze,
Yes.
batteries.
Yeah, you can
that
buy
sort
all of
thing.
that sort of stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's okay.
Yeah, that's all right.
Okay.
So we'll look at your answers in a mo. So what constitutes essential products when shopping? What is a must? And by the same token, what would you consider is not essential when you go to the shops? There's something in the shops that you consider not essential, you can add that in there as well. Anyway, I had a phone call this morning about a horrific headline on the BBC. And the BBC...
Stand by, gang, he's about to rant.
Yes, here we go. The headline was, record number of small firms in not inverted commas, the single one, set to close. So you look at the headline and you go, record number of small firms set to close. It's where you put that half a speech mark alongside things to sort of like inference that it's part of something, but not a quote. Right?
Right.
Okay. So when you read the story, a record number of small firms could close in the next 12 months, says Federation of Small Businesses.
Hang on. I've just heard the most important word there.
What's that?
Could.
Ah,
Gets you out of all manner of sins.
true.
It's a bit like saying allegedly.
Allegedly and rumoured and all that sort of stuff. The FBI, they probably are. The Federation of Small Business, known as the FSB, the FSB's proposed Directors' Income Support Scheme would pay them grants of up to $7,500 to cover 3 months of lost trading profits. It would be limited to those who earn under $50,000 a year. So what it really is the Federation of Small Businesses trying to get the government to do something, and in doing so, they've been sort of pumping it out to the news wires and everywhere else, and the BBC have got sucked into it, and they've changed the headline to be COVID, record number of small firms set to close. And I said to the person I was talking to, have you read the article? No.
Well, nobody ever reads the article. They only read the headline.
Yes.
That's why.
So come on, BBC. You're supposed to be good at stuff like this. I mean, most of your journalistic type people, I didn't say the other word, I said, I changed it to be an adjective almost, claim that they come through the system, through local newspapers, blah, 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 blah. And so you're supposed to have all this footing in stuff, and yet you send out bum headlines. That can't be right.
But the headline, lots of companies may close, doesn't have as big or as good a ring to it.
No, that's true. But
the
I
words
think that's...
clickbait come to mind at this point.
Yeah, well, I mean, the BBC don't need clickbait. Well, they do on the international pages because there's adverts everywhere. But, surely somebody in the UK could challenge this by complaining to Ofcom about it. Because record number of small firms set to close is actually just wrong. It's not right.
No.
Steve said, I saw a newspaper article saying Trump could start a war with Iran before he leaves office.
That's very unlikely because he hasn't got anything to do now. He hasn't got time to tweet, or he can't tweet or use Facebook. So, wonder what this button does.
You know what he's going to do? I said, that was the one that was floating around last night. And I said to somebody, it's nuts. He's Donald Trump.
Yes.
All he's got to go on, and I've looked at this one, it is the most ludicrous place to ever go. You can go and have a look if you like. It's full of rubbish.
What is?
We, or we, me, or me, we. I can't remember which way around. I think it's me, we. And it's a smaller version of Facebook.
Oh, right, okay.
And now, when they came out, we sort of have a look at things like that because that's what we do. And Gordon Bennett, their view is free speech for everyone.
That's dangerous.
No, it's not free speech, it's idiot speak. I've never seen any place that's more radicalised than, say, the dark web. Have you ever been on the dark web?
No.
Oh, it's quite funny, really.
Is it?
Yes.
Well, it just strikes me as this. It's a place where lunatics and than mad people are. So
It is.
I didn't want to add to the numbers.
Well, it is madness over there. I mean, there are some people who I kind of get a bit of sympathy for. And I think what's really funny is some radio stations actually having pages on there now.
Really?
Yes. One in particular, the BBC.
The BBC are on the dark web
Yes.
with drug dealers and arms dealers.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
It's very easy to do, actually. It's just the same as setting up a normal page. There's nothing clever about it at all. Be careful of me, it's got toilet fetishes. How do you know that, Steve?
Because of its name.
Well, I suppose we. Oh, very clever. Yeah, it's going to me. Yeah, never mind. Anyway, so, for crikey's sake, will the media actually start doing something and telling the truth? Oh, no.
No.
No, that's never going to happen, is it? And on
And
that...
this was a fine example last week.
Go on.
I think you'll find there was an update last week where there was Mr. Prime Minister was there. There was a chap who was some sort of I really should remember this. There was a chap that was all to do with medical, and there was a brigadier, and they were talking about the rollout of the new vaccines and how they were going to do this.
Oh,
all.
yeah.
And it was epic because I was sitting there thinking, oh, come on. I can't wait for the questions today because the Brigadier is going to have absolute hilarious fun with all these J's because he's just going to hand them all their heads on a plate when they ask him a stupid question.
Yes.
Not a single J asked the Brigadier a question. He stood there like a spare part at a wedding. And I felt really sorry for him because I thought, well, hang on. This chap here has got all the answers to how this is going to happen because he sat down and worked out all the logistics, and not a single J had the bottle to ask him a question.
They wouldn't do.
Well, no, because the last time any J asked one of the army chaps a direct question on these updates, this question was stupid, as most of the ones that they ask are, and. They got their head handed back to them on a plate. It was brilliant. I think he got about a 4-word answer.
James Axel says the USA will go bankrupt, and the Chinese is going to buy the USA as a good way for the banks to get out of business for the new currencies. I agree with you, Axel. I don't know what's going on at the minute, but everything's starting to sort of make a bit of sense. Because yesterday somebody
it's all trying to fragment.
Well, yeah. Some guy wrote to me and said, "Why do you think that, Eric?" And it was on a Slovak page, and he had said, he'd asked the question, "Should you buy Bitcoin?" And in Slovak, I just wrote no, nothing else, nothing whatsoever.
Fair enough. Just the word no.
Just the word no. And so
Excellent.
he wrote to me and said, "Why is that then?" I said, "Well, to start with, it's the currency of the dark web. It's the currency of drug dealers, gun runners, sex traffickers, and the North Koreans. So do you want to be involved? No.
Not really, no.
You don't have...
How can you have a currency that's not regulated by anybody?
Well, that's true. It's just regulated by machine guns. So, you don't have to thank me, Axel. You're absolutely right, man. It is the most lunatic thing anyway. And if you look very closely, China does own most of America anyway.
Does it?
In monetary terms, yeah.
Oh, okay.
There's a lot of them. Ricky's asking him what he had for breakfast. Really? Oh, okay. It's your spell checker again, isn't it, Steve? Yes. Okay, never mind.
Steve's spell checker is having a morning like mine.
Not very good, is it? Sorry about that.
No.
Coughing in your ear rolls. So anyway, we've had rubbish headlines, and then we move to a video about the hospital near Dave. And I purposely chose it because it's a hospital near Dave, the Princess Royal Hospital in Bromley.
Yes.
Apparently, there's no problems with that hospital at all. There's so much space in the hospital you wouldn't believe it. And entrances were closed.
Which is interesting when you consider that I read a piece from our local, what do they call them? In the community sort of newsletter thing that comes through the door.
Yeah.
That said that the Bromley area was one of the highest, had the highest infection rates in the whole country.
Yes.
Where are they all going?
I don't know. But then I looked at this video because I thought, that's interesting. So I looked at it and...
Well, you've been there, so you know what the place is like. So,
Well, yes, I have been there more than once.
which helps.
Yeah, it does, rather.
So the A&E department. So it was.
Where you sit at the A&E, this was the opening shot.
Yes.
What they didn't do, the idiots that shot this video claiming nobody was there, is they forgot to blank out all the red bits that says you can't sit here for social distancing.
So that's why nobody was sitting there then.
Well, there were people sitting there, but they were social
Spaced
distancing.
out. Yes, because I think you have to sit on every other chair. Or is
I
it
think every
think
other
there's two chairs.
two chairs in the middle of you.
out,
That's right.
one chair in.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
So they were filming this, saying there's nobody there, and they were filming the social media. Then they had a closed entrance, and it had got the red and white tape all over it. And guess what the entrance was for?
Well, from what you've said, A&E.
No,
Oh,
it was the entrance to the canteen area.
right.
So what?
There's probably a reason for this. Let me just think about this. Well, if I remember rightly, the canteen area doesn't necessarily operate 24 hours a day. So, because there are cafes and stuff you can go to. So the
Yes.
canteen is only open during like what I could describe as business working hours
Yes,
and visiting hours. So, what time was this filmed?
in the evening.
When it was closed.
Yes.
When we closed whatever day, whether there was a global pandemic or not.
And this was on the 1st of January, by the way.
Right.
So it'd be closed anyway.
Yeah.
Right. Now, all I'm saying to you people is when you see these videos, and I think I'm sure it was Katie Hopkins that shared it, which gave
dear.
it huge amounts of clout. And the bottom line is, it's fake. It is fake news on Twitter.
Oh my God, we're back to Donald Trump.
No. So do you know what I did this morning? And I make no apologies for it whatsoever.
Oh no, what have you done?
Reported it.
Well, that's not such a bad move.
No, I put in a claim about the content where you can write the thing properly. And I also put it in as fake news. And I also said it was a fake account because it wasn't using anything to do with the real person. So hopefully it'll get took down.
Yeah, but how many eyeballs will have gone across it before it's taken down?
7.1 million.
No, is that 7.1 eyeballs or pairs of eyeballs?
Pairs of eyeballs, I suspect.
Right.
So I don't think Twitter differentiate that way.
No.
So, all I would say to everybody is if you don't be stupid about it, because we've had the stupidity where this program itself, somebody was being a numpty, we know it is. And every time we put a video up, they were going, this should be 18 certificate only, like we're doing adverts for pornography or something. And I would have to sort of write back an answer. And after about the fourth or fifth time, YouTube must have got fed up and they stopped blocking it. They just didn't block it anymore. And in fact, the last time they blocked it, suddenly realised what they'd done and they unblocked it before I could complain about it. It was that fast. What percentage of Slovaks have had the jab? I don't know.
Has it been approved in Slovakia?
Years.
Oh,
We've got approved ones.
Right.
It's not a case of small population, Mitchell. That's the problem.
It's probably how you're scattered.
Yes. And in Slovakia, there's people that live at the top of mountains. And you can't even get to them at the minute. You seriously can't. I mean, it's not the same now because they've now got remote management of some of the transmitter sites here for all you anoraks. Afternoon, Trina. And sometimes people used to have to go up to this mountain and they would live there for 6 months because they couldn't get out.
Oh, God.
And then a few years ago, they put, microwave management tools in so that the people could stay in a place called Preshoff and still look after the transmitters on the top of a place called Kralavahola.
Blimey, there's a name.
Yes, that's the Queen's place. And,
Right.
The problem with Slovakia is there are so many rural areas. I mean, everybody thinks of Bratislava, but that's not Slovakia. That's just the capital city. Like London's not England. So when you go out of the capital cities, it's horrific. But as we said, I think I said on Friday, one of the towns here was actually locked down physically. There was barriers on the roads in and out. You couldn't go in or out.
I saw the pictures of this you posted over the weekend.
Yes.
Yes. You only have a population of 5.5 million.
Well, exactly. And the
5,461,046. Seems quite precise there.
Oh, they are very precise because everybody that resides here has to have a residence card, so they know.
That means nobody's been born or died since they last updated these, whenever that was.
Well, no, that's true. And there's not so much going on now because there's even pictures of the local council offices all being sprayed and cleaned for COVID and all the rest of it. So it's a long shot. I have seen your messages about what is or isn't essential products. We will come to those in a moment. But this little bit, seriously, if you see dumb videos like that, do report them. And then I'll finish off the media section, and I love this. This is how ludicrous the media are. So you've got one newspaper, and the big headline is, stricter rules could be on way as mass vaccination centres open. It's kind of good, really, isn't it? It's kind of a good headline, that. Another newspaper, care homes, we've been betrayed over jabs. So there's mass vaccination centres opening, but care homes have been betrayed. What's the matter with their ambulances and their, carrying minibuses and stuff like that? All they've got to do is go to a vaccination centre. It's not rocket science.
Well, why has the care home been betrayed? What's the background there?
It says here, despite promises, just 1 in 10 vulnerable residents have been given the COVID vaccination. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and?
There's probably a little bit more of a story here.
Well, it was the over 80s they'd completed the other day.
Yes.
In the UK. That's not the over 70s.
No.
Of which a lot of people in their 70s actually live in care homes. So they wouldn't have been on the first bit of the list.
They did say that the people in care homes were going to be done fairly high up in the list, though, didn't they? But I can't remember how high up in the list they were.
Yes, and
hang on.
This has been done.
They were the top. They were the top ones. I've just found the list. Residents in care homes for older adults and their carers were number 1 on the list, and then everyone over 80s and frontline health and social care workers.
Yes.
Then people over 75.
Yes.
Then people aged 70 and over, and those who are clinically extremely vulnerable.
But 70s and over live in care homes. So they wouldn't count on the first bit of the care homes anyway. It'd be the 80s that get it first and the people doing the caring.
But surely if you're a resident in a care home and you're at number 1, that comes over anybody that's over 80.
Well, I would have thought so. But
so residents in care homes should have been done first.
Yeah, this comes from the investigation unit of the newspaper.
Oh, God.
And
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
Anyway, so you've got one paper doing one thing, one doing the other, which brings me nicely back, and we'll get to the other messages in a moment, of what we think is actually good essential products.
Right. Okay.
Yes, so we've done
I'm just
our little
scrolling
bit.
back through my list.
Yes.
To find out what.
Oh, by the way, can you look this up? Steve reckons there was an MP once that tried to ban anything capable of playing Space Invaders. Mitchell wouldn't go to the shop unless it was essential. I couldn't agree more. Are RT hats classed as essential? Oh, yes. No, not really. Is a bag of sugar essential? No.
Really?
No, it's not.
Why not?
Well, why do you have to have sugar?
Because your tea or coffee tastes awful without it.
Not if you get used
Also,
to it.
you need sugar to do certain amounts of cooking.
Yes, but I have sugar-free cooking.
Right.
Journalists are not essential. Agreed.
Definitely not.
No. And not essential are newspapers. And I agree with that as well. Not essential at all.
Online ones, possibly,
Yes.
but not necessarily then you get into the
printed.
realms of some people don't have a computer, so can't look it up online.
True. But then we've already proven that one newspaper says one thing, one says another. So the only way you could actually get the truth is to buy all the newspapers. And if you couldn't afford the interweb, you couldn't afford the newspapers. Boom.
Right. Okay.
Does that make sense?
That's true.
Essential things, says Ian, are milk, bread, tinned
Yes,
food, fresh
yes.
meats, washing powder, etc. Yep.
Yes. Yeah, I'll agree with that.
Yep. But why on earth there's a whole... Well, I'm trying to think how many metres it was. About 3 metres, 4 metres long of space in a shop given over to magazines and newspapers were not blocked off. And I couldn't see the point. I don't get it. If I can't go into a shop and buy myself a helicopter or various other flying objects that you can buy in shops these days,
I
why
don't
not?
think you can buy a helicopter, can you?
Yeah, I did.
What, a real one?
Well, not a real one, no. A model, an RC.
Oh, I see.
Yes, an RC. And I can't buy a Lego kit.
Can online.
Yes, this is true. But if I can't go into a shop and buy a Lego kit, which is not really real, it's kind of okay there, why on earth can I buy a newspaper? Don't get it.
Because the journalists all get upset if they closed all the newspapers.
Yeah. Oh, I missed one from John who says, afternoon, guys, food time. Oh, shut up. Oh, John, how could I haven't eaten yet?
Neither have I.
No, well, I did this morning.
I haven't.
Have you not?
No.
Are you having your, what's that diet? You have a starvation day.
No.
No, you're not doing that.
No. I
Strange
just
thing.
woke up at 11:47 and had a mild panic attack.
Strange things. Strange thing about vaccine centres. There is not one in the Yorkshire and Humberside area. Really? Gosh. And apparently there's talk about the support bubbles being scrapped. And Mitchell's just confirmed the newspaper has it wrong. All care homes will be vaccinated regardless of age. It's in the one by me. Oh, I see. Yes, it's somebody near you. If your mixing board broke, would you go and buy another one? And is it essential? No. I'd go and get some gaffer tape and super glue. Stick it back together again.
But if you couldn't fix it, what would you do?
Use a plate.
Eh?
Use a plate.
How can you use a plate for the mixing desk of your radio station?
Oh, is that what he means?
Yes.
Oh, I've got a spare one.
So, you know that thing with the slidey things that go up and down that
Oh,
you
is
have
that-
to push to make people hear us?
Oh, is that
That
what it's
thing
for?
in front of you, yes.
Oh, right.
What would you do if that broke, is the question.
Go into the back room and get the spare one.
Right, okay.
Got a spare. And in fact, over to my left is the hole that it goes in. fact, I ought to fit it in there, you know. Be quicker.
Maybe. Well, this then opens up another thing.
Oh, cool. Thank you, Steve. Thank you. That won't happen. Eric can fix everything. Well, most.
So this then comes back to another question, because you can't go to the shops to buy certain things because they're essential or non-essential.
Well,
but you can buy virtually everything online and have it delivered.
Now, I kind of get that because you're not exposing yourself to the virus. And as
But you are. This is my thought about it, because I've been thinking about it. This troubles me at times. My mind goes off on various random points. So, Mr. Delivery Driver turns up or goes out with his truck full of items to be delivered, and the first house that he goes to just so happens that the people there have coronavirus but don't know they've got it.
Right.
Now, officially, they should sort of just leave the parcel on the doorstep and step back, waiting for somebody to come. But occasionally you'll get people that come to the door and they take them out of their hand. So the man who's doing the delivery has just been exposed to coronavirus on his first delivery. And then he goes round to everybody else.
No, he just got put sanitizer spray on his hand.
So he has to sanitize himself every time he goes to a house.
Well, honestly, Dave, when I go down to my car at night, in the centre console is a small pressurised spray of cleaner stuff, the alcohol one. So
Right,
when I get down to the car, I spray my hands, and because I've touched the steering wheel, I rub my hands around the steering wheel as well. Because to get to my car, I have to go through public areas with public doors that people can handle.
Right.
So I clean my hands.
Okay.
And he could do the same thing. Our boys' care home had the local health authority in this morning, testing all staff and residents.
Well, there you go.
It says a lot for that newspaper headline today, doesn't it? What a load of all rubbish. A Sunday newspaper in the USA costs $5.
Good grief, really?
Flipping heck. God. And as Trina quite rightly says, you can still buy gossip magazines in shops. I just think that is so wrong. I just think it's so wrong. But you see, the thing is, they'll moan at the governments, and because they did this once before. What do they call themselves? The NUJ in the UK. It's the National Union of Journalists. We're actually lobbying Parliament to give them money.
Right.
And yes.
Oh, by the way, changing the subject entirely, I've found the article. You know, you said go and look.
Yes.
In 1981, at the height of moral panic over newfangled video games, George Foulkes, MP for South Ayrshire at the time, now Baron Foulkes, drafted a private member's bill called the Control of Space Invaders and Other Electronic Games Bill, in an attempt to ban the game for its addictive properties and for causing deviancy.
Gosh. Well, there you are. You got your answer, Steve. Tony's up in Norway. Says papers cost £6 here in Norway. And good afternoon, all. Good afternoon, Tony. My friend in Norfolk had that done to her as well. And this is referring to a parcel that Mitchell's neighbour had a parcel delivered when they weren't in. The delivery driver left a note to say he'd left it in the blue bin. Then he left. Minutes later, the bin men came.
Yeah, I've heard about this. This is where it all goes terribly wrong.
Yeah,
but it really depends on what you've left on your... some shopping sites ask you to nominate a safe place. So if you've nominated stick it in the blue bin, then you've only got yourself to blame.
Well, that's true. That's very true. But there again, it depends on what colour bins are being collected that week.
Well, that's very true as well. But
Yes.
if you've ordered something and you know it's coming tomorrow and you allocate it going to a bin, putting it in a bin for a safe place, and that bin gets emptied on the same day the delivery's being made, well, opened yourself up for all manner of things.
You have really. Steve says, thanks for looking, Dave. Was it the game he tried to ban or the equipment as well?
Hold on.
I think it was the
'Cause
whole shooting
it said
match.
it was the whole shooting match because it was the control of Space Invaders and other electronic games, in brackets, Bill.
Oh, so he was trying to ban the whole shebang.
Yes.
Just think how wonderful that would have been. That was tongue-in-cheek, by the way,
Yes.
because the UK, fellas, is actually one of the biggest areas and world-renowned areas for gamers around the world.
The bill was debated and only narrowly defeated in Parliament by 114 votes to 94.
Wow, that was a bit close. It would have cost
Was.
the UK billions.
Yes.
Because honestly, the games sector in the UK is one of the biggest sectors for putting money into the coffers. There you go. You didn't know that, did you?
No.
You do now.
Apparently so.
You can sleep tonight.
I don't think I need to sleep tonight. I spent most of today sleeping.
But no, it's true. The UK's income, as in GBPLC, makes huge sums of money from the gaming sector. And
We have a lot of companies that do gaming.
yes, we do. And we make good kit. We make really good kit in the UK. But of course, I think they've tried to link it to arts now. Because what's that thing we have? BAFTAs.
Yes.
There's now a
There's
BAFTAs for games,
now, yes.
which is
Well,
ridiculous, really.
Well, in some respects, yes, and some respects, no, because we come back to our friend Mr. Peter Dixon, who does quite a lot of work on the computer games because he
does.
voices characters.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember whether it was on this show when he was talking about it or whether it was on my show, but he actually sort of went through and explained how they have to come up with like 500 different ways of saying ouch in case they're in a fight.
Yes. That makes
So there is a craft to producing a true-to-life video game.
Yeah. And
So
it's
there
a
you go.
lot of money because these games are sold around the world. And in fact, they should stop whinging about some of the other stuff and pour more money into that because it makes more money. Mitchell says beforehand the driver that dropped the parcel over was just daft. Well, that rings a bell. I enjoy simulators. I docked SpaceX with the ISS. It took me 3 months.
Oh, you can do that. If you go onto SpaceX's website, you can actually trying to dock the Dragon spacecraft with the International Space Station. And of course, if you cock it up, it doesn't cause multi-billion dollars worth of damage.
Wasn't it Elon Musk who was promoting going to Twitter last week?
I don't know. Mr. Musk is apparently now the richest man on the planet or something.
Oh, right.
He's overtaken
Bill
Mr.
Gates.
Facebook.
Yeah, and all the rest of them. And that always amuses me, because when these people do it, I'm looking for reasons why they would. And at the same time, he was, what's the other one? Not WhatsApp. It's similar to WhatsApp.
Right.
Begins with S. I'll get there in about 5 years.
Is this the other variant of messaging that
Yes.
people use?
Yes. And funnily enough, guess who funded that one in the beginning? Twitter.
Well, there you go.
And it just amused me when everybody goes, oh, well, yes, we're going to go and use that one because he said so and it's the safest thing on the planet. And then you look it up and you go, but Twitter gave them all the code, which means they have access to it.
Yeah.
So it's all a load of old rubbish. Mitchell thought the Sultan of Brunei was the richest man in the world. Now, I would have thought that.
Hold on, I'll go and find out.
Yes. I did read that Musk wants to sell everything he owns to move to Mars. It wouldn't be different. No, it's not Skype, Ian. That's Microsoft.
Wasn't originally, but it is now.
Yes. In fact, the original one was a nice guy from Scandinavia who I met. Nice bloke, actually. And that was born out of piracy, funnily enough. He had a pirate website and closed it down and made so much money he put it all into Skype. And then he sold it to Microsoft, which is why it's in Luxembourg. And I don't see as... It's one of those things that's always bemused me. You know, people sort of talk about, you know, living on the moon. Well, number one, you'd have to have a bubble, not a COVID bubble, but a really one, to live on the moon. No, it's not Zoom, Ian. Gordon Bennett.
I can tell you who the top 5 richest people are in the world.
Go on, then.
At number 5 is Mark Zuckerberg,
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Facebook.
Right.
At number 4, Bernard Arnault, who is a French luxury tycoon.
Mm.
At number 3, it's Bill Gates.
Shall I do you a quick at number 2?
At number 2, it's Elon Musk.
Oh.
His net wealth has soared to $167 billion.
It's all paper.
But at
it's
number
not real.
1, with $187 billion, is Jeff Bezos. He, of course, is Mr. Amazon.
Mm.
So there you go. They are the top 5 most richest people in the world.
The trouble is, it's not real money.
No.
If you ask anybody, it's all based on, you know, assets, collateral, da-di-da-di-da. So it's all paper money. It's not real money in the true sense of our pocket world. Not spring. Oh, no. I'm going to have to run to the office in a minute, pick my phone up. There's
Why?
another...
What's happened?
Well, I can't remember the name
what-
of this. Alternatives. It's an alternative to WhatsApp. And it begins with S, I'm sure it does. For the life of me, I can't remember what it is. Axel is the poet's man in the world. Right. That means you're broke.
Yes.
Yeah. If I was a rich man.
Signal.
Signal, that's the one, Dave. Thank you for putting me out of my misery. Signal.
We quite enjoyed listening to you suffer.
Thank you very much. Honestly, the first thing you should do is research these companies. And then you find out where it's all linked together. And, you know, it just is surreal when you start looking around. You go, oh, my Lord, it's one of them. And you go, oops, oh, they. Yes, I agree, Mitchell. If I was a rich man. Dooby-dooby-dooby-dooby-dooby-dooby-doo. It's like Scooby. But that's another story. No, we won't go there. There was something else I was going to talk about, and I've forgotten.
We were going to talk about the essential products that you can buy when you're shopping. And as it's 12:47 in the UK, 13:47 where you are, we ought to think about going through this list.
Well, go on then. You go through it, and I'll just interject.
Okay. This means I have to now try and go through this list live. So nobody type anything because it'll all go terribly wrong.
No, type, people. Type now.
Ian thinks essentials are milk, bread, tinned food, fresh meats, washing powders. Scrolling down here.
Hang on a minute. What constitutes meat?
He didn't say. He just said meat.
Well, there's only one meat on the
like
planet.
A butcher.
There's only one meat on the planet.
Chicken.
No, that's not meat. That's chicken.
Right. So what are you deeming to be meat?
Beef.
Then? Beef.
Beef.
And what about lamb?
That's lamb.
But beef's beef then in that theory. So
No,
beef's
no,
beef,
no.
lamb's lamb.
No. We got a question from Trina. Or do you want to do the list first?
I'm trying to scroll through this list.
Go on then.
At the moment, and I'm not finding many things here. Hang on.
No, don't worry about it.
Oh, we should have got people to email us, shouldn't we? It would have been easier.
No, I don't use email anymore.
Don't you?
No, try and avoid it like the plague. I'll do this question because it is quite pertinent to our correspondent in America.
Is tea and coffee essential?
It does wake one up in the morning. Baby Yoda's Chicky Nugget 5s are essential, according to Trina.
Yes.
Definitely. Well, yes.
Chicken nuggets.
No, I don't like those. Only like beef. Oh, God, I tell you what we did yesterday. And it wasn't even my idea. It was not my idea, but it was stunning. I went back to the old days of London. We had boiled beef and carrots for dinner.
Good grief. Is beer essential?
No.
Okay.
We had boiled beef and carrots with onion gravy. And it was just yummy and gorgeous and beautiful. And there was no chicken, no pork, no lamb, no nothing else, just proper meat in this huge thing. And we cooked it for hours, so it was all soft and, it was just...
Do you like sausages?
I like sausages, yes.
What are sausages made out of then?
Some pretend meat.
No, that would be a vegetarian sausage. So what would be a non-vegetarian sausage be made out of?
Cereal.
Nope.
You have lots of cereal in sausages.
What is the main ingredient of sausages? Come on.
Block.
I'm sorry, you seem to be going a bit fuzzy on me. Can you say a little bit clearer?
Clear my throat.
Maybe if you don't put your hand over your mouth, don't forget we can see what you're doing.
You don't want to know. Dave almost likes a hot dog. What?
I love hot dogs. They're great.
Oh, it depends on which ones. If it's those, what do they call them here? Parky. Horrible.
Parky? What's Michael Parkinson got to be in a sausage for?
He hasn't.
Rather disturbing. I thought he was
still alive.
Right, okay.
Still alive and kicking. No, they, what do you call them? Hot dog sausage things. They're not proper sausages. But here they call them parky. See, I've been here too long. My English is broken. Absolutely.
Right.
What do you call them funny sausages that aren't like proper sausages? You can boil them for kids.
Frankfurters.
That's the one. Frankfurters here are called parky.
Right.
I don't know why. And
Michael must be thrilled.
Yes, and kielbasa is sausage. But even they're not real sausages.
Right.
Because they're sort of like either a blood sausage or they're a white blood sausage sort of thing. But they're not bangers, proper ones. There you go.
Fair enough.
My local shops are selling everything. They don't care. Ooh, that's naughty.
Yeah, but then local corner shops sort of sell all the things that people would need in a hurry.
Yeah.
You wouldn't go to your local corner shop to do your weekly shop.
No, actually, you just hit on a good point there, Mitchell. I think right now is the best time ever to support your local corner shop.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know how you say this. People88, whoever People88 is, hi. I don't know where you are. I will have a quick look because I have the technology to do this. Click. You're in California. There you go. Has just become a fan. Well, thank you very much. That's very kind of you.
Mitchell, you're very right. We always have the same conversation after we come off air, and it usually is along that lines. Mitchell says, when the show's over, Eric will say to Dave, what were we talking about?
Yeah, this is very
That's
true.
usually the conversation.
Like
we
chocolate.
have.
Axel says, hey, Eric. Yes, Axel. I'm going to work on that today. Love the show. See you all Wednesday. RTI rocks. It means he's going to work on a new mix of ready, steady, go.
Wash your hands, it just takes 20 seconds. Wash your hands, it's for your own protection. No exceptions, no objections. You'll make such a nice impression. No infection if you only wash your hands. And you're done.
Don't forget, people, do wash your hands. Take no notice of anybody else anymore. And I'm not boasting about this in any way, shape or form. I did get into hot water with some people who said, why are you still pushing out stay at home and the voiceovers doing keep talking and the jingle about your hands? And that was sometime around August, September of last year. And I genuinely felt that the whole thing was going to go pear-shaped again. And the reason I felt it was no other reason than I went out one night after our lockdown was put in place, revoked. And I went to, we've got this very Parisian kind of little area just down the road from us. And there were just people everywhere, walking about, no masks on, all having a beer, which is fine. I get it. I get why you want to do it. But all it does, as my daughter said the other day, if you don't stick to lockdowns, the lockdown will continue longer. It ain't rocket science. It ain't rocket science. It still gives me a couple of seconds to say well done to the football club Marine, who played Spurs yesterday. Good game. They really, I mean, considering they're like 200 places below Spurs in the football pecking order. And even, they lost 5-0, and they were bound to. They were absolutely bound to. These are people that go to work. They can only train twice a week. And in fact, due to COVID, some of the big football clubs had to help them out because they couldn't train anywhere. But do you know what? They got heart. They played and played and played right to the last minute. You could see them getting, I'm dying.
A bit weary.
Yeah, more than a bit weary. They were absolutely shot to bits. And yet they got this old-fashioned heart that is, well, it's synonymous with England, to be quite honest. And they just kept going. They wouldn't give up. I mean, Tottenham were all over them. They could have scored hundreds, to be quite honest. But I don't think they were pushing it too hard. And Spurs even brought on a 16-year-old to play it towards the end, and then he went and scored a goal. And yes, Crawley won yesterday, as did Chorley. There was some good little wins in there yesterday. It's really amazing to watch. And I think the funniest bit, Dave, and I know football's not up your street at all, this ground is so small, it's surrounded by houses.
Right.
Okay.
That must have caused absolute mayhem then.
It was, because they've all got their gardens backing onto the football ground. So they didn't go to them because obviously they couldn't go into the ground. You're not allowed to. So they're all sitting out in their gardens, even though it's freezing cold. You know, champagne glasses at the ready. Go on, Marine, keep going, blah, blah, blah. And they kept this fun atmosphere going through the whole game. And they were cheering and shouting for them. And it was just lovely to watch. It really, really was, that they just didn't give up. And yes, we all love to see the underdog win, don't we? Yes. Looking forward to the snooker this afternoon, says Mitchell. Yeah, so am I, funnily enough. But talking on that point, we got to go.
Have we?
Yeah, sorry.
My word.
Paul Turk says, bye, Eric and Dave. He's our other producer who reminds us of the time.
Yes, he steps in when Rachel's not here.
Yeah, something like that. And before we go, just got to remind you, at 1700 CT, 4 o'clock in the UK, first programme from Larry London today, from the Voice of America, with border crossings, which you can call up. It'll be all over social media and the web later as how to do it, or you can catch it on the page if you're on Facebook. So Welcome back, Larry London. Tony Fielder says, take care. And Ian Gillan says, 3 p.m. on BBC Two. Oh, the snooker. Yes, I'm with you now. Yes.
You could have the snooker on, but listen to RTI.
Yeah.
Because you don't need to be able to hear the snooker.
No, you don't. You can just watch it happen now.
Exactly.
It was really weird when it was black and white tellies, though.
I always knew the blue ball was next to the brown one.
Yeah. Trina says, have a good week, everyone. We're back on Wednesday. It's not a week.
I think she's just trying to sort of be nice to
Positive
everybody.
to everybody.
Positive.
Yes.
Come on, let's be positive.
Okay. Well, we're going to be positive and say bye-bye, David.
Bye-bye, David.
See you later, everybody. Take care, and we'll see you on Wednesday. Bye.
Hello.
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 Hello?
Hello.
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 Is there anybody out there?
Can you hear me?
How are you doing?